Hey guys, welcome to this SADGA Q&A with our newly minted patron, Garrick Higgo. Garrick, how are you doing?
How's it? I'm all good, eh? Not too bad. Still enjoying the lockdown, I guess. How
I
about
mean,
you?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone's really enjoying it at like day 55 or whatever it is, but that's cool
No,
for you, man.
I'm trying to. Trying to make the best out of it, eh?
What have you been doing?
Hitting balls into a net, doing some training, had a haircut. Yeah, that's about it, eh?
So we made the announcement yesterday that you are our newest patron. Would you mind just sort of saying a few words about what it means to you to have joined the SADGA in that capacity, and what you're hoping to achieve with the association going forward?
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm super excited about it. Obviously we've got a good relationship. And yeah, I just can't wait to meet a lot of the guys that are part of your, I guess, foundation or part of South African Disabled Golf. And I've actually got a mate that practices at Desalza that is a pretty good golfer and he's disabled. So it means a lot to me. And, I'd like to just give back to them and, hopefully give them some tips and motivate them to become the best players they can be. So I'm super excited about it.
That's epic, dude. Well, I know I speak for all of us when I say we are super, super excited to have you on board as well. Should be a fun ride. But so let's actually dive into the questions. So Darren Honeycomb, who's one of our deaf golfers, top quality guy and also a very, very good player. I think he plays off, he was like a 4 or something, but just a really, really good dude as well. He wants to know, now that you've experienced your first year as a pro and all that kind of stuff, what is your approach to tournament golf? How do you remain focused and in the moment over the course of 4 days? What's the key for you?
That's a good question. To be honest, it's something that you learn from a young age, from playing 1-day junior events to then finally 36-hole days to 3-day tournaments, then 4 days. So I don't really have a tip for, how to 4 days of, of golf, but it's something you get used to. But to stay focused, I guess, I try and just stay in the moment, which is a bit of a cliche, I guess. But I try not to get ahead of myself, try to stay positive, and always just focus on what I can do to get better every day. And yeah, that's about it. Just keeping it simple. I never really get worried about anything. Obviously, maybe the golf swing here and there. But yeah, like I said, if you do that for a long time, you'll get used to, events and, what works for you. And I've kind of figured out, what works and what doesn't work. So, but yeah, I hope that answers his question.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's quite comprehensive. So another question from him is, what's your general approach to practice? How do you structure your time? What do you spend most of your time working on, and how do you go about things?
So I use an app called Decade Golf, which I started using when I went to college. So that it was created by, it was created by Scott Fawcett. He's a very good course management coach, I guess you can say that, because it's not a golf swing app or anything like that. And within that, it's the app is co-designed by Birdie Fire, which is also a statistics app.
Yeah.
Most people will know about that, Birdie Fire. But then if you use this app, you get a lot of in-depth stats on your game. You obviously fill it in after your round. And I've been using that for like the last 2 years now. And I use that to figure out what I need to work on. And then let's say, obviously, because it's now a full-time thing, golf, I don't really have anything else to do. let's say 12 hours, then I'd, figure out what's the worst part of my game, and then divide it into categories and spend, I'll spend time on everything, and every day.
Yeah.
But let's say if my chipping's bad, but it's chipping within 20 meters, I'd spend more time on that. Let's say it's 2 hours of chipping, I'd spend more time on the within 20 meters than just general chipping, I guess. And then it will be, same trend for everything else.
Yeah, and I mean, how often are you interacting with the app on like a round to round basis, or tournament to tournament, or
No,
how?
it's round to round. So
Okay.
in the beginning, obviously, so in the beginning of college, I wasn't as dedicated to it as now.
Okay.
But geez, the amount of data that I have about my game now, it's a joke. I can literally see which months I was doing well at what, and I can see the different trends, and it's amazing how. And it's difficult because a lot of times I finish around and you're just tired, especially if you're not playing well. It's easy to do the stats when you're playing well, but when you're playing badly, you don't really want to go over your round as in depth. But I've kind of overcome that now by understanding that you have to learn from that. So, but it's helped me a lot. If I didn't have that, I definitely wouldn't have done as well as I've done.
Yeah, no, it's quite cool, because I suppose, like, on the one hand, you probably can become quite overwhelmed by the amount of data at your disposal, but on the other hand, it certainly does help you target.
It's just that I know exactly what is wrong. You know what I mean? Like Cliff and I can go through it, and we can see, like, it's not just strokes gained approach that's bad. You can see, okay, everything within 150 is good, but my 165 to 195 is absolutely shocking. So then you don't have to worry about anything else except that. That's the rest is fine.
Yeah, that's epic.
So, no.
Cool. So another question that actually relates to, it's from Iggy Darius, who I think you may have played a bit of Williams junior golf with. I don't know if you recall, from, like, I don't know, maybe when you guys were 11 or 12 or whatever.
Probably, yeah. I can't remember. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Iggy. Sorry, bro. He wants to know when did you decide to turn pro, and what made you want to give pro golf a shot?
I decided after my first year of college, or towards the end of that first year. It was basically just because I was going to come back home and not continue with college, and that I didn't think that trying to become the #1 amateur in South Africa again was a good idea, just because it's a bit pointless, just because, why would you want to do the same thing again? So that was definitely when I decided, okay, I'm going to do it whether I'm playing well or not. So it was about December 2018 when I decided.
Okay. Just as a random, not random, but just as an aside, guys, I've actually done an 1.5-hour podcast with Garrick. He was super gracious with his time. So if you want to check that out in the comments section and in the link or the description of the YouTube video, please do. Super interesting. His journey in golf is quite a roller coaster. So go check that out. But yeah, let's move on. There's another one. Let's have a look. I'm just trying to work this out.
What is his start strength, middle focus, and finish points in a tournament? It's a bit of a broad question. But
yeah, you can sort of take it whichever way you want and just answer it.
Okay. Sure. Start strength. Geez, that depends whether I start strong or not. Sure. Okay. I'll just say, well, when I start well, I try and stay positive, but not overthink the good start. I guess that'll answer that. In the middle of the event, I don't really think about it, but I just, obviously, if it's not going as well, I try and find something that works, and if it's going well, I just focus on that and keep going. And then to finish strong, I just always tell myself that I'm always in it, whether it's going really bad. If you're 50th, you can always finish 35th, and if you're 10th, you can still win. So that's kind of what I keep in mind.
Yeah. So that's actually quite an interesting segue, because another question from Darren Honeycomb was, at the Cape Town Open, you started slowly shooting 74 in the first round, and then bounced back with 3 consecutive 67s. What would you say was the key to that, and what sort of kept you going?
I was very pissed off after the first round, so I guess that definitely helped. Just because I've been playing so well before that, and I've had a bit of a disappointing, just miscut at Daniel, just miscut at SA Open, whatever, and then Cape Town Open. I know Royal Cape well, was playing really well, and then at 74 at Royal in the wind just pissed me off. And then Mowbray the next day was, I don't know, same thing. I just kept telling myself that 3 good rounds, the first one's done, so you can't do anything about that. You can always just keep getting better. If you shoot another 74, no one's gonna care. But if you shoot 367s, it's gonna be, you're gonna be up there.
Yeah.
It's going to be low round of the day, or just try and make as many birdies as you can. So,
yeah. You must have been bleak to just miss out on the playoff there.
I actually thought I was going to win, and then because the other guy just made 5 birdies in a row, but I could only see the leaderboards on the course.
Yeah.
So to me, it was just me and Donnie, and then I took the lead, and all of a sudden I was 2 behind. So it was a bit of a weird one, but obviously it's nice because. Obviously, with the 74, I can't complain finishing second.
No, it's
a bit of a disappointment, I guess.
I mean, we can't exactly say you've been deprived, having won twice, and obviously with the IGT event win as well. So yes, Darren is coming thick and fast with these questions. He wants to know, I mean, is it quite surreal to think that you managed to win 3 times in your rookie season?
Yeah, it is for sure. Yeah.
What at the start of the year, what were your goals?
I guess winning was probably one of them, or trying to get as close to winning as possible. I always knew I could do it, but it is still surreal when you actually do it. It's still, it's just something that we all dream about. So. Yeah, I'm gonna lie if I say it's not surreal.
Cool. So we've actually got a couple of questions about when you started to play and what made you want to get into the game. So here's one from another one of our deaf golfers, Charles Williams, who he just wants to know, when did you start playing and why did you get into it?
So I started to play when I was very, very young. So obviously around 3 years old. I guess you couldn't even say that I was playing. I was just hitting a golf ball. But my dad, when we were still living in Joburg, we had a weekend / vacation house on Peakenwood.
Okay.
And when we'd go there, I'd just join them. Well, I didn't play with them, but I'd go on the golf cart with them when they were playing. And I guess the bug just bit me then. And my mom would tell me stories where, and I was about 4 years old, even 3, where I'd sneak out and go into the bunker in front of our house and just hit balls in the bunker for like the whole day, and they wouldn't find me.
And do you find that sort of as the years went on, it became a strength of your game?
Yeah, for sure. My bunker play is definitely one of the best parts of my game. And it's something that when I get to the practice range, the first thing I do is go into the bunker just to warm up and just have some fun. I like having fun in the bunker. You can do a lot of different kind of trick shots.
Yeah, I suppose it just sort of gets you in a good frame of mind, being able to work on something that is like second nature to you.
Yeah, and it kind of warms you up because you have to hit full shots. You have to be aggressive with it, and you have to commit. And yeah, obviously it's fun. So then you kind of from there onwards you can start to work on something else.
Yeah. So is anyone that watched you as a junior knows that you always sported that bandana? So we've got a question from Trevor Reif, who wants to know when did you why aren't you wearing it anymore?
I don't know. I'm a bit sad about that. I think it might make a return for sure. The reason why, and it's not that I said I'm just going to stop wearing it, is when I came back from America, one of my first events back was the African Amateur at Leopard Creek.
Okay.
And usually, I mean, up until that point, I was wearing it every day whenever I'd go to the golf course, every day. So I wore it at college, everything, and it's fine. But for some reason that week, and Leopard Creek, I mean, it gets 45 degrees there.
Yeah.
And there's no caddies. You have to push your own cart. I was basically dying. So that was one of the things I just took off for that week. But then I remember the next week was SA Amateur, then this, and I don't know, just didn't put it back on again. And then when I tried to, I was already a little bit not used to it. But I was in such a tournament mode. I mean, up until Q School, it was just tournament after tournament after tournament. Yeah. Then straight after Q School to Zambia, whatever, and now we're here. So literally, I haven't really had enough time to get used to it again. Just because it was my first year as a pro, I didn't really want to put it on, and not that I'm superstitious, but I don't want to waste events to get used to a buff. You know what I mean? Like, now's not the time to get used to something on my neck. I guess now is the time to get used to it again.
Yeah, well, I suppose now's the time to get used to anything tournament golf related because it's been quite a dry spell of late. Let me just try and find another question. So another one from Iggy. What's the best course and best tournament you've ever played?
Best course is Shadow Creek, the one we used to practice at in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
The best tournament, the USAM, I played at Oakland Hills in 2016. That was unreal. Best course no, not the best course. Shadow Creek's the best course. But yeah, best tournament for sure.
Yeah, you guys should go and, as I say, check the podcast out. A couple of interesting stories about Garrick's run-ins with rules officials. So go check those out. But I have it on pretty good authority that before you became a golf protege, you were also you nearly burnt down a golf course. You ought to enlighten us and tell us about that.
Yeah, that's a very funny story. So I don't know about you, but when I was young, we used to play blitz cricket a lot. When you play cricket with blitz, you make...
No, I haven't actually done that, eh?
Firelighters. So you play cricket with firelighters. And it's just because obviously it's a firelighter, so when you catch it, you have to throw it again quickly because you're going to burn. So I don't know why, but that was quite fun to play. But we lived on Goose Valley, and it's on the fourth. We used to live on the fourth hole, and in front of it is that love grass. That long, thick yellow grass.
Yeah.
And we were just playing there, and for some reason, my one mate Jock, who was batting, was standing, right by the love grass. No, it was the other way around. He was not standing by the love grass. We were fielding, and behind us was the love grass. And my one friend, Sinalush, she actually, I don't know if she dropped the catch, or what happened, but someone dropped the catch, and it went into the love grass. And I'm not joking, 5 seconds later, it was one of the biggest fires I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, crosses.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, we almost burnt down like a couple of houses. It was actually hectic, yeah. And
how
the worst part of that story was our our balconies doors. We couldn't find the keys to them because the day before that we were playing something and we hid the keys, so we couldn't get the hose pipe through the house. Or no, firstly we didn't have a hose pipe because we had irrigation. So then we had to run around the house with buckets of water to get it to stop. And then I don't know how we did it, but eventually it stopped.
so
But
how
yeah,
old were you when this was going on?
I think I was 9.
Okay, so it's still sort of the age where you can kind of get away with it, like the Prince Tube League.
Yeah, I
Um,
was just a naughty kid, I guess.
so naughty, in fact, that I hear you had your golf clubs confiscated for 3 months.
Yeah, that did happen. Yeah,
What's
I don't know.
the story behind that?
Geez, I actually 3 months.
Apparently,
Oh,
there's
no.
some decision
Yeah,
that
no,
your mom and Cliff took, but yeah, go for it.
it's good. So my mom, after my dad passed away, my mom had to commute a lot from Plate to Joburg. So we had an au pair that kind of took care of us in the week. And I don't know how I got it right, but at the time I was big into bodyboarding and surfing. And I don't know how I convinced her, but I convinced her that I didn't have to do some extra schoolwork after school, and that Cliff cancelled my lesson. So I convinced her to take me to the beach, and then yeah, they confiscated my golf clubs for 3 months, which was sad. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure it must have been quite aggravating. But
yeah,
yeah, just to sort of continue on this road of embarrassment.
yeah. Thanks.
Um, you've also had issues with, or you had a particular run-in with Dormicum, I believe it's called, that sleeping pill.
Yeah, yeah.
Go for it. Tell us the story.
Well, which one is it? Because I've had a few
It's
of those.
the one in Japan. I don't know if I think you were playing
Oh,
a world junior event or whatever in Japan. Luca was telling me.
okay. So yeah, that I don't remember that one too well, but so the whole time zone and everything there, kind of. So there's a bit of a story before that. So I was at the British Am, and Golf RSA flew us to Japan like 3 days prior, and it's like a 9-hour time difference. And Dormicum is just a sleeping pill that I take when I travel just to help me, climatize. So,
Yeah.
for jet lag, whatever helps you sleep. And I don't know, for some reason, the time zone and jet lag plus Dormicum plus tired from flying kind of didn't really help me play that well. So, but I don't know if there's another story behind this. I've got to come back.
So the way Luca described it was apparently you were playing and whatever, and you had a headache, and you had a
Oh no,
headache
that's a
all
different
around.
story.
Yeah.
That happened at another event. I think I just told him about it in Japan.
Oh, okay.
I was playing a country or some US junior, not the US junior, some junior event in America, and I have bad allergies, so I take allergy pills daily.
Okay.
But a Dormicum looks exactly like an allergy pill. Okay. So the morning of the first round, by accident, I took a Dormicum, but I didn't know. So now this is like a hectic sleeping pill that I took in the round. Bro, I was basically falling asleep while I was playing, and I didn't understand what was going on. Like I I couldn't figure it out because I haven't taken anything to make me feel that way. And I basically cannot stay awake while I'm playing golf for the whole round.
What did you shoot?
I shot 84.
Oh, crosses. Or was that okay then?
No, it was still bad. It was still bad. It was a good event.
Yeah.
But there was no cut. Obviously, junior events don't really have cuts. So
yeah.
But yeah, not making that mistake again, eh?
So
see, that's stuff you learn, eh? You see.
No, 100%.
You learn stuff.
You'd rather have that experience under your belt now than that happens the night before the final round of the Tour Champs or whatever.
Yeah.
Could have had a very different outcome then. So
yeah, that's the only story I have about Dormicum. But I know Japan was a tough week to climatize. I definitely did not take a Dormicum on the course there.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so last question of any embarrassment whatsoever. But
thanks.
Apparently, you're quite bad with directions. Is there any particular story that springs to mind?
Yeah, that does, and it's actually quite recent. That's the issue. So yeah, Keegan, myself, and Ian, not Ian Keenan, my manager, Ian Brody, my mom's boyfriend. They've been dating for a long while. So he's helped me a lot with my golf, and we're basically golf partners, and he's awesome. So he went with me to Portugal, and because it's easy, he can rent a car and whatever. So he was driving, but we were in a super, super small car. Keegan was staying at the same resort, so he caught a lift with us. And this is in Portugal, by the way. I don't know if I've said that.
Yeah.
And it's about, I don't know how long the drive should have been, but the resort probably is about only half an hour from the airport, I guess, max. And now this is after like a 24-hour journey to get there. So now Ian bought a SIM card for his phone. So he flew Turkish Airlines, Keegan and I flew Emirates. He arrived there before us. He got a SIM card for his phone, so his data works. So he gives me the phone, says, okay, just put the resort in, and then I'll drive and you can give the directions. And Keegan's in the back, got all the golf clubs because it's a tiny, tiny car. Got the golf clubs on his lap, bags. We squish, and obviously we've just flown very far. So I type in, the place is called Bomsukeso Resort. So now, if someone says to me, go to Bomsukeso Resort, I'm going to type in Bomsukeso Resort. It's like if they said there's a Stellenbosch Resort, to me, that you type in Stellenbosch Resort. But I didn't know that the place was called Bomsukeso Resort, but it's in Obidos. So Obidos is the place.
Okay.
So the name but on the maps, there's actually a place called Bomsukeso. So I thought it was going to be the same place, because obviously, why would they have a Bomsukeso Resort somewhere else? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I didn't see that it's not taking us to Bomsukeso Resort. It's just taking us to Bomsukeso. But because it's like, I thought, okay, well, it's the same thing. I just said go, and then I didn't look at the time, but it was 1 hour and 45. And I remember Ian saying that it's not actually that close to the airport, but obviously it's not that far away. So we drove 1 hour and 45 to this little town. There's like 4 people that live there. We haven't eaten, drank anything. I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere. We go, and then now we stop there. We get out the car, and we're super hungry. And we try and find like a restaurant, and we walk into this one place, and it's a bunch of hillbillies, and we walk in and we walk straight back out because we don't want to die. So now we've driven 1 hour and 45. It's almost dark, and so now I type in the actual place, and it's literally an hour and 45 back the other direction.
A crisis.
So we literally, yeah. So then, we found a garage, and we just literally drove the same way back for another hour and 45 until we arrived.
What a mission! And have you sort of been traumatized ever since? How are you with Google Maps these days?
I'm fine, bro. Like I'm actually very good with it, because in America I used to use it every day when I drive, and like I'm fine. Like I don't know. I don't even know how that even happened. I should have asked, because the thing is, I didn't do research on that event, because I wasn't gonna drive. But Keegan and Ian knew that it was in Obidos. I didn't know anything about this place, so I thought Bomsikeso Resorts. I typed in Bomsikeso comes up. I think, okay, sweet. I'm sure if I'm wrong, then when we get to Bomsikeso, I can just type in the resort's address,
Yeah.
Because the resort wasn't coming up at all.
I'm sure you've learned your lesson after that. It's never take things at face value.
Luckily, they both weren't that mad, so I guess we just laughed. But we weren't late for anything, which is good.
Yeah, cheapest. But after a 24-hour flight, that must have been a bit of an
I would
annoyance.
have been pissed off if it was Keegan, but I guess I don't know how pissed off he was, but I would have been fine with it if he was.
Maybe you just hit it. Maybe you just hit it well.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
So here's another question from Iggy. He wants to know, who is your biggest opponent, or I suppose biggest rival when you play junior golf?
Jeez.
It's tricky because you guys had so many oaks.
Yeah, that's a bit of a tough one to answer, because it's not like tennis or something where you face to face. But I guess Luca Filippi, Dion Germeses.
Yeah.
Herman Loopser. There's so many guys. Golf, every week someone else wins. So, I wouldn't say that they were rivals, but they were the guys that I played with a lot. So
yeah, cool. I'm going to actually get to one or two of my questions just in the meantime while we wait for a couple more. Cool. So, which of your amateur victories would you say you're most proud of?
Probably my very first one, the 2016 Northern Amateur.
There's actually quite a cool story behind that. You should go check it out. I think it's part 1 of the podcast, where with Herman,
Yeah,
Herman. Yeah, you should check it out. It's very, very cool. And then Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Okay. Always?
Right,
have you? Already? Which PS4, I presume?
Hey, what's that?
No, so PS4, I presume.
Yeah, PS4. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, no, it's chilled. Another question came through from Darren, but you've answered it earlier. Let's see. So I came across a little gem a couple weeks ago when I heard about your Red Bull obsession. When did that start, and why did you start drinking so much on the course?
That's been going for a while now.
Is it?
I started in 2017. So my mom drinks Red Bull, not as much as I do, but she enjoys Red Bull. So whenever she can, she'll drink a sugar-free Red Bull. But I don't know. I remember I played the Harry Oppenheimer Trophy in 2017, and I won it. And I drank Red Bull on the course for the first time that week. And I just remember it really helped me a lot, just because I sometimes get a little tired mentally in the middle of the round, even towards the end, whenever it is. And it's quite refreshing, and it doesn't give me the shakes or something like that. So yeah, probably in 2017. But I actually have an interesting story about that, which I found out about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So my my sister's boyfriend, I can't remember what he's studying, but they did a research. They did a study on the heart and what Red Bull does to your heart rate versus coffee, and Red Bull doesn't actually increase your heart rate at all.
That's weird.
Which is super interesting.
That is very strange.
Yeah. But it's still it definitely affects me. You know, it gives me that like alertness where coffee doesn't do that. Coffee just makes me. It gives me the shakes. I guess it does wake me up, but it doesn't do the same. It's not refreshing. So I guess that's why Red Bull's so nice.
How many? I don't know if you mentioned it in the earlier part of the answer, but how many do you generally drink around?
I used to drink 5 around. Now probably 2, or maybe only 1.
So, at what point do you reckon they're going to pick you up as an ambassador?
Geez, I don't know. That's a good question. I guess Ian should answer that one. I'm joking. I don't know. It would be nice, but I guess I almost own half the company if you think about how much I've spent on it.
So, another question from Charlie. He wants to know. So, there's a previous question before this, which is, were you a member? And the answer is Zalza, but which is, let's say, what's your favorite hole on at Zalza and why?
At Zalza, all right. The 13th for sure, the drivable par 4 over the water.
Okay.
Just because of the views you can get there late afternoon when you're playing 9 holes.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're either going to make eagle or double or anything higher or lower. It's just such a good hole where even the layup's difficult and you're never guaranteed. And yeah, it's just, like I said, the view is awesome. So the 13th for sure.
So what's the sort of range of scores you've made on the hole? Like what's your lowest and what's your highest?
Highest probably 7.
Okay.
I don't think I've gone higher than that, but I've witnessed a lot higher. And lowest at 2. I've almost had a hole in 1.
That must be wild.
Yeah, I hit it to like a couple inches.
Must have thought on the tee. You must have thought it was in.
I did think it was in, yeah. Especially from that distance. Like a par 3, you can still see. I know it's not in, but
yeah.
I either thought it was in or it was in the bunker.
Yeah.
You couldn't see it, obviously.
Okay, I haven't actually played the course, but itching to get out there when lockdown finishes.
That's super nice. It's nice, and you must check how it looks now, bro. It's in such good condition.
Very, very keen. Here's another one. Let's see. How do you prepare before each round mentally, and how does your caddy keep you level-headed?
I think it's more how do I keep my caddy? No, I'm joking. So mentally, it's a bit of a tough one, but I do a lot of visualization before rounds where I go through each hole literally in my head and play it the way I wanted to play it in different ways, and if the wind was blowing and if it switched and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically it. And Nick doesn't really have to keep me calm. I'm quite good at that now. I've definitely learned how to stay calm throughout the rounds. But he definitely does. I can't think of something now, but the conversations we have kind of keep us both in it. We start to talk about what we're doing, what we need to do, and I don't know. It's never like, come on, man, stay with it or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't need to fire you up or anything. Yeah. That's got
the way. Yeah, we never talk about like what we're gonna do if we win now. But it's like, I don't know. It's just the way we always there. You know what I mean? Like we never. We try and talk a lot. We figured out that once we become quiet, something is wrong, and then we start to talk again. You know what I mean? Like we can sense when one of us is tired, and then we also adjust our game plans based on how we feel. So like if I'm a little tired today, then we'll not be as aggressive, just because if you're a little mentally off, like you can cost yourself a lot of shots. So he usually asks me before the round, how you feeling, and if I'm saying, geez, I'm feeling really well, then he knows that there's a couple holes where he can give me a better line or a more aggressive line. And then if I'm saying, geez, and that's why it's nice with the whoop, I can literally say like my recovery is a bit low. So, you don't know how your body's going to react. Some days it fires, some days you're going to hit it well. Some days, if you're a little off, your shot pattern is going to be a little bigger. So you got to aim a little bit further away from your target.
Yeah, and how much experience does he have as a caddy? Like who's he caddied for in the past, and how long has he been in the game for?
He's been a professional caddy for probably 7 years.
Okay.
Caddied for Benjamin Herbert. I don't want to get any names wrong, but he's caddied for quite a few European Tour guys. He's been caddying on the European Tour for 7 years.
Okay, cool.
So he's super, super experienced and super professional.
Yeah. No, it must make such a difference, especially like when when you're first coming out, you don't really know what to expect in certain circumstances.
Especially in Europe, in South Africa, it's your home, like it's fine. But in Europe, he's helped me so much. Like it's tough when you play there because you don't know anyone, so you don't have on the course. You're not going to talk to a lot of the guys. Maybe they don't speak English as well, but he helps me. Like it's comfortable around him. Like you can. It's almost like you're playing in South Africa, I guess, when I'm overseas. And he's super chill. Like he never gets ahead of himself or ahead of us, and he's super chill.
That's cool. What's the age gap between you guys? Because I'd imagine it is probably a couple decades. And
Geez, I wouldn't say a couple of decades. That's a bit. But yeah, it's close. He's 38, and I'm 21. So.
Okay.
So he's not that old. Yeah, he's not that old. I don't really want an old oak to carry my bag. He's gotta understand my jokes. Gotta be able to give him banter.
I didn't know you had much banter, but maybe just when you become more comfortable with people.
Yeah, we're not going to do it live now, but it's going to be a bit rude. No, I'm joking.
That's
not PG banter. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, that's the shortest SADGA player association in history. 2 days.
Yeah, let's not try it. Let's not do that.
Yeah. So here's a question from Iggy. He wants to know. So obviously, like Tiger's got the red shirt and black pants and all that kind of stuff. Do you have any sort of like go-to color scheme or whatever that you wear on the course?
No, I don't. I used to obviously have the buff, so that used to be my thing. Hopefully, I'm gonna definitely try and bring it back. So be on the lookout for that. But no, I don't. I think red and black's probably the coolest thing, but obviously Tiger's taken that. So
yeah, well, Reed tried to take it. Reed tried to take it from it. Didn't work.
No, it's. I don't. I mean, I can't think of any. I mean, Gary's got the all black thing going. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Maybe one day I'll try and do that, but yeah, for now, no.
Yeah.
I just try and wear the clean clothes.
I'm pretty sure Stone sort of also gone for that all black look a couple times.
I think so. Yeah, he's a bit of a fashionista.
So here's another one from. See, these oaks are firing the questions thick and fast. We'll just have a couple more and then we can get you out of here. But so let me just try and work this out as the FSB. What did you want to share with them? I suppose, I mean, what advice, I think what he's trying to say is, what advice would you give to, to the first string program guys, like the elite squad? I mean, they're all sort of single figure guys and they're all pretty good players. I mean, what advice would you give to them, either mentally or like a department of their game that you feel is most crucial to making good progress in the game?
All right. So I'm not going to say you have to work hard, because that's a bit of a no-brainer. And everyone knows that. I think a lot of people overdo it. But the best thing I can say is that you have to just learn from. I'd say firstly play a lot of golf, play with guys that are better than you.
Yeah.
And play a lot of tournaments, and then learn from the times that you played with better guys, so you can use it. I mean, a lot of the things that I do now is things that I've learned and observed from guys that are better than me.
Sure.
And then you can use it to your advantage. So, and then also from, take do stats on your game. Download an app, even if it's. I mean, when I was younger, I did stats. I've always been doing stats. It just changes. Like now, it's way more in depth. But I started with normal greens in reg, fairways hit, and putts per round. Even that's enough indication. When you start off with that stuff, to, you can see where if you only hit 1 out of 14 fairways, where that's obviously what you need to work on. But yeah, just never be never get too down on yourself, because you can change like that. If you're shooting 90 now or whatever, it's always going to get better. Just be patient. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Cool. That's quite a cool answer. So just a couple more from my side, and then we'll let you go. Which was your favorite tour stop you made this year, either or last year and this year, I suppose, either in South Africa or in Europe?
Favorite tour stop? No, I just got to remember all of them. It feels like a long time ago.
Okay.
Sure. I think there's a few, for a few different reasons, but Denmark was definitely one of our favorites. It's such a weird but cool place. There's not a lot of people there, and everything works. It's so different to our country. It was so nice to just be somewhere where like everything works. You could literally just leave your bike on the street. No one would steal it. And the sun, I never saw the night. It was quite surreal. Like the sun was up until like 11:50, and it came up at like 3:50.
That's weird.
I saw it once when I landed at 12 at night, and it was pitch black, and then I had to drive an hour to my hotel. But then after that, I was never awake that late enough. But that was an epic place to be.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So I'm sure you're probably gunning for a Made in Denmark invitation on the Euro Tour.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, if we're still gonna play.
So here's another question from if he's one of your mates or someone, Carl Page. What putting drills can you give us that work for you? Is there anything in particular that springs to mind?
Oh yeah, one that I use a lot, which is it's not new, but it's something that's helped me so much. So there's a lot of short putts drills out there, which, I mean, but not a lot of people do the right long lag putting drills. And I also didn't really do the right ones, but I found one on that Decade app that I use. There's Scott actually talks, because a lot of what it's actually you should actually go have a look at his stuff. But it's all based on shot patterns, and you have shot patterns with your putting as well, and lag putting, obviously, because let's say you hit 10 lag putts, you take all of them and you see what's your worst miss, and And this drill you use, you know, those your ball markers that you like put. It's like these small, tiny ones with a little thing you stick in the ground.
Yeah.
So, or you can use a coin, whatever, like little coins. I think I use 5 coins. So you go a putter and a half width between the coins for the first 3 coins. Then it's 2 putter lengths for the next one, and then 3 putter lengths for the last coin. So it basically looks like coin, a putter and a half away. Two putter lengths, coin, 3 putter lengths, coin.
Okay.
Then what you do is you from 5 foot to 10 foot, you take a ball, basically a ball at 5 foot 6, 5 foot, 5.5 foot, 6 foot, 6.5 foot, like up until 10 foot, and you try and stop it within the first 2 coins. And if you fail, you start again. And then if you finish the first one, you go on to the next. And it's 10 to 20 foot is the next 3 coins. The next 3 coins. You got to stop it within the space of the 3 coins. Then it becomes greater. But it's super tight and it works so well.
Yeah, that's
it's
epic.
A bit
but
of a
it's also,
to explain, but yeah. If you see it on a video, it's easy.
Yeah. Sounds like it could become quite tedious if you miss a couple like early.
Yeah, it can. But I don't do that drill that way. That's how you're supposed to do it. But I just do it. I do it even if I miss. I just keep going up until the end and whatever. Because yeah, you can get a bit pissed off.
Cool. And then, dude, just a final question from my side is: do you have like a go-to drink or meal after a round? Maybe like after a tournament or just generally? Is there anything you? I've heard
I enjoy pizza while I'm
Okay.
playing events. Yeah.
Okay, I've heard you.
It pulls me up and yeah, it gives me lots of carbs. So
I've heard you quite enjoy your steak as well.
yeah, steak as well. I don't really eat it that much when I'm playing events, just because it's a bit heavy to digest. But yeah, pizza is a go-to at events.
Epic, cool, man. But thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll check you at some point when the lockdown finishes, and we can get back out there.
Awesome, perfect. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, dude.
All right, sweet. Cheers, Greg.
Bye.
Bye.